Welcome, it's denome. Bitcoin just dropped below 33,000 and we are now below this structure right here. So I think we can see even more downside. How far? I will try to explain in this video. Should you buy the dip? I will also explain in this video, and I will show you my price targets where I will be buying more Bitcoin. So I was actually expecting Bitcoin to go up from here. So I'll share my strategy that I had before. So I shared my strategy here on Telegram. You can subscribe to this if you want on 18th of January. So this week's altcoin strategy was to convert altcoin profits from the previous week and put it into ETH. And I was expecting ETH to actually bump from here to the all-time highs. And that's exactly what played out there. And then sell ETH back into Bitcoin. And that's what I did also. But I was actually expecting Bitcoin to jump up from here, so that play did not exactly perform as I was hoping it. But to be honest, for the last 2 weeks, I have to say I made already pretty good gains. So I'm pretty happy how it went. So from here, I did sell a little bit of my Bitcoin just to hedge if this price goes even lower. But my price targets right now is actually, if we measure this move right here, let's move this over here. So the measured move, in my opinion, is about $25,000 that it can go down to. So my price targets where I will be buying more is here on 31,000, then on this trend line here about $29,000, then of course this $25,000 is where I will be having most of my idle stablecoin purchases. And then final place where I will be buying more is $21,000. I don't expect Bitcoin to go below its all-time high. Why? I will also explain in this video as well. But this move right here, it actually mimics exactly what we had here when Bitcoin went to just above the all-time high before. So we were almost at $20,000 here, and then we dipped below the trend line once again, and then we just had this massive move, which actually is more than 100%. We are on the logarithmic chart. It doesn't look like it, but this was a 100% move to the upside, a little bit higher than that actually. So from this one, it could still be a fake out, and it can still bump back to the triangle and even further from there. You never know when you draw these things, but that's why you have to combine the technical and the fundamental analysis. So who exactly, okay, let's talk about Ethereum as well, because what Ethereum did right now in this week is actually pretty similar to what Bitcoin did right here. So let's take a look at Ethereum real quick before we talk about anything else. Sorry about the drawings, it's a little bit messy. I have to say I had some previous things here, but the measured move that I had with Ethereum was $16,000, which did not happen. I actually sold most of my Ethereum already at 1,400, and that's I still have some Ethereum because it didn't go all the way up here. But Ethereum, it went to the all-time high here, and then it already went back about 12%, same as what Bitcoin did before. So it's pretty funny how they are doing basically the same thing. Only thing different is that the support trend line here is much further away from Ethereum than it was on when Bitcoin did its move. But anyway, here we are. Ethereum is went to retouch the all-time high, then a dip, and I guess from here what we can expect is something like this, and then back to the retest the all-time highs eventually. I don't know how long it will take, but eventually we will go through that again. And why do I believe that? Why do I have such conviction that Bitcoin will still have much more upside? Let's talk about that one. First, I want to tell you that institutions are just buying. They were buying even before this dip. As you can see from Grayscale Investment Bitcoin Holdings, they had about 606,000 Bitcoin, and now they already have 640,000 Bitcoin. So they almost increased their holding by 0.7%. And no, about 7% they increased their holdings. So pretty significant buying just within a week. So they are buying even before this dip right here. And institutions, when they buy Bitcoin, I'm sure they are expecting much more upside. And also, if we take a look at some on-chain analytics, you can see the whale ratio for all exchanges. Why is this selling happening? I think it's whale selling as well as it's weak hands selling. So whale ratio for exchanges means that how much of Bitcoin have whales been depositing lately. So whenever this gets heated, it means that maybe the whales want to sell some of their Bitcoin as well. This is not exactly accurate every time. As you can see, there was this time where the whale ratio went pretty high, but there was no selling at all. So this is not exactly accurate, but whales have now more Bitcoin on the exchange than before. And also, if we take a look at how much money is exiting the market, you can see the red number. This means that Bitcoin has become more illiquid. So Bitcoin is now exiting from exchanges, from places where they are easily convertible into people's wallets or institutional wallets. So whenever this is red, it means that the fundamentals of Bitcoin are good. Bitcoin is becoming more illiquid. So people want to hold it more than just to sell it. So this is very bullish in my opinion. As well as if you take a look at the whale, how many whales there are, you can see that the number of addresses holding more than 1,000 Bitcoin have just gone through the roof. So whales are just accumulating as well. So some whales are selling, some whales are accumulating. All in all, I think if you are selling your Bitcoin right now, you are just selling it to whales and to institutions. So for that reason, I am not actually looking to sell a lot of my Bitcoin. I just sold a small amount of my Bitcoin holdings just to utilize this dump if it goes further. So I will do a lot of buying here on 31, 29, 25, and 21 as well. And last more thing, what I wanted to talk to you guys, why I think the bull run still has much more power to continue, is Goldman Sachs is now entering crypto markets soon with a custody play. So what this article says here, they interviewed a Goldman Sachs insider, and he says that custody plans would be evident soon. And they also interviewed the CEO of Anchorage. So there has been a tectonic shift in the world of crypto custody this week. This article is from last week. So I covered the news about Anchorage, that Anchorage, they gained the National Digital Bank Charter. So they have the full banking license and they can offer the banking services and buy and sell Bitcoin and DeFi coins and many other altcoins there on the market as well. And JP Morgan Insider and the CEO, they are saying now here that they are talking to all these guys. So JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Citibank are now exploring the possibility of adding cryptocurrency custody inside their banking system. So Goldman Sachs insider said they are looking at custody, but not becoming a brokerage. They will be outsourcing the brokerage systems to Anchorage, Bitcoin, and Coinbase. So that's the big play here, is that these massive institutions are becoming part of the cryptocurrency scene, and you will be able to basically hold your cryptocurrencies in almost any bank inside the United States and probably in many other places in the world as well. So the institutional adoption is happening more aggressively than before because of the crazy money printing we know and because cryptocurrencies are so hot. So I think this is just going to continue, as well as if you take a look at what Janet Yellen here is saying. Janet Yellen is now the new Secretary of Treasury, and she has a concern with cryptocurrencies because she thinks they are mainly used for illicit financing, and she wants to make sure they are not used for money laundering purposes. So this is funny because she hasn't even basically stepped into the office yet, and this is the first thing that she said out in loud. Pretty interesting that this was so high importance. So I think this is one reason why some whales want to probably sell their positions, is if they want to keep their identity a secret, they have to do those sales before the more regulatory KYC places, things come into place. So anyway, whatever she's saying here, this is completely false, like Forbes says here. So Chain Analysis, they made a report that in 2019, only 2.1% of the whole cryptocurrency volume was for criminal activity. And in 2020, that number was only 0.34% of the whole transaction volume. And according to UN, the estimation is that 2 to 5% of the global GDP is used for money laundering and illicit activity. So the cryptocurrency is not really anything noticeable, and any new platform is always prone to scams and for illicit activity. So the more adoption we have, this number is just going to go lower as the time passes anyway. So whatever she's saying that it is mainly used for illicit financing is completely false. I think what she really wants is just to have more KYC and more regulation that the banks and the institutions can use or are the gatekeepers of cryptocurrency, I should say. So this is bad for privacy, it is bad for freedom, but it is good for the price of Bitcoin because it allows more cryptocurrency adoption for institutions, in my opinion. So all in all, I do think that the bull run is still going to continue, even though we had this small downside. But again, it is basically just a replay what we had here. So retest, by the way, if we just zoom out as well, let's go to auto here. If we zoom out, you can see that we have this trend line here on the 2017 bull run, similar to what we had on the 2013-2014 bull run here. And all this way, we were supported by this trend line, basically. We just came to touch it and we went below it on a few weeks on this bull run. So just to come and touch it here would make a lot of sense, in my opinion. As well as if we take a look at this line here, this is a major trend line. From 2019 we had a touch, and that's now touching the $40,000 barrier here. So when we break that, that is really, really good, but it doesn't come easily that we break it. So that's why I do think there may be some consolidation with Bitcoin. And just by the way, from the previous things that happened, is that when Bitcoin has been dumping, altcoins haven't dumped even that much. And that's one of the reasons why I actually went so long on the altcoins a few weeks ago. But for now, I think waiting for Bitcoin to do its move and then looking for good entry positions makes a lot of sense. I do want to buy more Bitcoin as a long-term hedge. So currently I have about 20% stablecoin allocation, but I'm willing to go even as low as 5% if we go all the way down to $21,000. And if we go that low, I will be taking a loan against my crypto holdings and buy even more Bitcoin if we go that low. That's basically my all-in scenario if we go and retouch the all-time high before here. Unless something completely crazy happens, like something super unexpected, that's basically my play right there. But one more thing, I do want to warn you that eventually will happen. Let me see if I can find it. It was this one. So Mt. Gox, they actually reached a deal. So 90% of the Bitcoin that is held in the Mt. Gox wallet is now going to be released and distributed to the users. So that's 140,000 Bitcoin. So this is one of those things, when that actually happens, when they give it out, that will probably be bad for the price of Bitcoin, because this is basically almost about 6% I think of the total supply of Bitcoin in all exchanges. So when that amount of Bitcoin enters the market, I think many people would want to sell it. So for that reason, when this enters the market, I think that could be in 1 to 6 months. That could be one of those days that we see a big dip, but that's very hard to say when that will exactly happen. But for now, I do think the bull run will continue. You may want to sell a little bit of Bitcoin and wait what happens. If we go back above the $37,000 level, you can re-enter and you basically just lose. Let me calculate that if I can. I have to do this. So from here, of course it's not working. Okay, now. So you may lose about 10%, but your funds are safe if Bitcoin actually dips even further. So you may want to sell some of your Bitcoin here to wait for better prices to retouch this level here, or even go as low as the $21,000 level here, which would align well with the EMAs as well. But anyway, for me, I do think this dip is going to be short-lived. The institutions are just buying anything they can, and more whales are entering the market as well, as we saw from this one. So if you sell your Bitcoin, you will probably sell it to the whales. That's basically what I wanted to say in this video. By the way, I'm pretty sorry that I haven't been able to make videos. I had some personal stuff to take care of, but everything is fine now. And for tomorrow's video, you probably remember this video that I made about saving money on gas fees, you can actually make money now with gas fees if you apply a certain strategy. So I will be sharing that strategy tomorrow, and it's gonna be quite interesting. I hope we will not break the whole Ethereum network with that one. But anyway, that video will come out tomorrow, so look out for that one. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next video.